And a major warm-up is on the way. Mike is here with details on 60s in November. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalie Bomke. Sylvia is off today. 6 people, including a local candidate for Congress, will be arraigned in federal court this afternoon. They are accused of interfering with immigration activity at the Broadview ICE processing facility. Casey Cronus live from Federal Plaza with the very latest on the case. Casey?
Hi, Natalie. That court hearing is set for 1:30 p.m. across the street at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse. But before that, the 6 people named in that grand jury indictment will rally here. The Broadview Six, as they've begun to call themselves, include Kat Abu-Ghazala, a Democratic candidate for Congress from the Chicago area, and Catherine Sharp, who is running for a Cook County board seat. Their attorneys call the charges politically motivated and unjust. The indictment states that the 6 people charged banged aggressively on government vehicles, tried to block those vehicles from leaving and entering the Broadview facility, and impeded agents in doing their jobs. In the next 30 minutes, a rally will kick off here at Federal Plaza with supporters of those 6 individuals who are charged by the Department of Justice. Then we will head inside for that court hearing upstairs. We will bring you the latest in about a half an hour. Reporting live from Federal Plaza, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
Thank you so much, Casey. And in the meantime, efforts are underway to ease restrictions on protests outside that facility in Broadview. Roseanne was there and she has more.
A Broadview attorney and community activist is taking the village to court. He says that many people here are effectively banned from protesting at all because coming before or after work is off limits for now. Right now, a curfew limits protesting outside the facility to between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., while attorney Robert Held says those restrictions amount to a violation of First Amendment rights. The village cites safety concerns amid the many clashes that have been occurred between protesters and ICE, but Held says banning speech is the wrong response, adding that the right to protest loses its power if the government controls when we can speak. His words. We talked to local residents.
You know, if it's not harming anyone, it's a peaceful thing. I mean, you have a freedom of speech, so you should be able to say whatever you feel without being, restricted or judged for it.
The case will go before a U.S. district judge on November 24th. However, in another court matter regarding this ICE facility here in Broadview, a judge is scheduled to tour this facility tomorrow to make sure that improvements are being made in conditions here as was ordered by the court. In Broadview, Roseanne Tejas, Fox 32, Chicago.
We want to give you a live look outside right now, and you can see we've got fairly clear skies, sunshine. Meteorologist Mike Kaplan has a check of the forecast.
All right, it's a little bit warmer out there now, but we have even warmer temperatures queued up and on the way. A warming trend for sure. Sunny and milder today. I think easily we're low to mid 50s. A little bit cooler where there's still quite a bit of snow on the ground. Northwest Indiana, eastern Kankakee County. Mid 50s likely tomorrow. A little bit more cloud cover sneaking in the afternoon, but it's well into the 60s on Saturday. Today, 54 with mostly sunny skies, 56 tomorrow, then a 58 on Friday. Is there any rain or snow in the forecast? I'll let you know coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
It sounds good. Thank you, Mike. A live look at the nation's capital, where House members are set to vote on the Senate spending bill later tonight, which would reopen the government after the president signs it. But with hundreds of flight delays and cancellations, the question is, will enough of them make it back in time? Rebecca Castor has the story.
For a vote this important, lawmakers are getting creative to get back to the nation's capital, while airports are still dealing with major delays and cancellations.
The flights are too unreliable, so I'm going to ride on a motorcycle. It's going to take about 16 hours or so. It's going to be a little chilly.
Republicans need every vote they can get to pass the Senate spending bill and end the shutdown, with Democrats' support not guaranteed.
Our strong expectation is that Democrats will be strongly opposed.
The shutdown came to a head last week when the FAA announced it was canceling flights to alleviate the load on air traffic controllers.
They had complaints from pilots. The airline's pilots were saying, hey, FAA, I'm having different experiences with the controller. They're not responding to me as quickly. They seem stressed.
Air traffic controllers are required to be fit for duty. So these men and women have to decide and make these decisions. Am I ready and up to the task today, or do I fulfill my obligation to sick out?
But with an end to the shutdown in sight, more air traffic controllers are back at work, and President Trump wants to give $10,000 bonuses to those who didn't call out.
What's really important for us is getting back to business. And what I mean by that is Thanksgiving is coming up. It's go time for us.
Once the government reopens, the transportation secretary says air traffic controllers will receive at least 70% of their missed pay within 48 hours. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox 32 Chicago.
Some small business owners say they are feeling the pain from cuts to federal food assistance. Without SNAP funds, many people have had to go to food banks instead of their local grocers, which is starting to impact sales for some grocery stores as a result. The Supreme Court recently blocked a lower court ruling ordering full payments of SNAP benefits this month. Chicago residents speaking out over proposed changes to the Grand Avenue bus route. A group of voters, businesses, and urban planners held a news conference this morning opposing the changes. They said they asked Mayor Brandon Johnson and CTA for additional bus lanes, but the city wants to cut them and install bike lanes. They said their changes would have sped up the line, but the city's proposal would make it slower. They argue the Grand Avenue route is one of only a few routes to see at least 8% growth since last year.
Are they with the community that wants to modernize and improve the bus while also integrating bicycles? Or is the CTA board going to stand by and watch one of their best bus routes get delayed, obstructed, and dismantled by the mayor's misguided reconstruction plan for Grand Avenue?
The group said they would pose those questions to the CTA board during a meeting following the news conference. The changes would begin in the 2026 construction season. A Chicago alderman is proposing a delivery tax to help close the city's budget deficit and avoid a corporate head tax. Block Club Chicago reports that Alderman Gilbert Villegas wants to add a $1.25 tax on each package delivered by ground transportation. The tax would apply to packages as a whole, not individual items inside those packages, and it could raise up to $275 million each year. Villegas says the tax would encourage consumers to shop local versus having their items shipped. He believes it would also reduce the city's $1 billion deficit. However, the mayor says the tax would still need state approval before it takes effect. Villegas plans to introduce the ordinance on Friday. Tonight, Mayor Johnson is hosting another budget town hall. People can ask questions and voice concerns about the budget and where the money is going. The meeting will take place at Quinn Chapel AME Church starting at 6 p.m. Well, it is official. The race to replace longtime Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia in the U.S. House of Representatives is underway amid controversy over how Garcia chose to bow out. Political reporter Paris Schutz is here now with the latest. Hey, Paris.
Hey, Natalie. You know, Patty Garcia is the lone Democratic candidate in the 4th Congressional District running to replace Jesus Chuy Garcia. Patty officially launched her campaign in Cicero today at a grocery store. Now, Cicero has been one of the epicenters of aggressive immigration deportation action. Garcia is Chuy Garcia's chief of staff, no relation. She'll be dogged by questions over how she got this nod. Notably, Chuy Garcia was running for this seat. He had fundraisers, he circulated petitions until the very last hour of the very last day to turn in petitions, and then he abruptly announced he would back out. Now, his chief of staff clearly got the advance word and had already gotten her operation up and running. She ended up being the only Democratic candidate that was ready to go. So critics like Alderman Ray Lopez say that Patty Garcia, or Chuy Garcia, I should say, is crowning his successor without giving voters a true choice. But Patty says she's proud of her service with Chuy. She's her own candidate.
Look, I will start by saying that, yes, it's been a whirlwind of emotions, as you can tell. I'm still very emotional. The last week, I've been focused on setting up my campaign. So for those that are saying, like, oh, this was planned, it wasn't. It's an open process. Anyone could have applied. It is an open election. People, if they're seriously interested, can collect their signatures and submit for candidates as well.
Chuy Garcia had cited family issues as reasons that he had a change of heart at the last minute. There is a Republican in this race, Lupe Castillo, who has run for this seat before and lost, and 25th Ward Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez, Natalie, who we had on the Chicago Report last night talking about his aggressive confrontation with the governor yesterday in Little Village. He has bandied about the idea of running as an independent candidate in this race.
Wow, it's heating up. As you said, thanks so much, Paris.
So many races to keep track of. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next few months, if fun is the operative word here.
Sure, if you like politics.
Sure.
All right, thanks so much, Paris. More news here on Fox 32 News at noon.
Venezuela mobilizing its forces as the U.S. continues to build up its military presence in the Caribbean. I'm Lucas Tomlinson in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
House Democrats released what they are calling a bombshell in the Jeffrey Epstein case and his potential ties to President Trump.
For most people,
A potential bombshell in the Jeffrey Epstein case involving emails referencing President Trump. House Democrats released the emails, and in one of them from 2011, Epstein alleged that Trump spent hours at my house with one of Epstein's victims. That is a quote from Epstein himself. In another email from 2019, Epstein talked more about Trump, claiming that, quote, of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of conspiring in Epstein's sex trafficking ring and is serving a 20-year prison sentence. The president has said that he cut ties with Epstein in the early 2000s and knew nothing about his crimes. And this all comes as Arizona Democratic Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva is expected to be sworn in after the government shutdown ends. She campaigned on a promise to release the Epstein files, and her vote could be the deciding factor to make it happen. Grijalva has been waiting for 7 weeks to be sworn in. Now, she claims her vow to release those files has played a part in the delay. However, House Speaker Mike Johnson blames the holdup on the government shutdown. Venezuela is deploying its forces in response to a buildup of U.S. military presence in the Caribbean. This comes after another pair of deadly strikes in the region. Lucas Tomlinson has more.
America's largest warship arriving near Latin America. The USS Gerald R. Ford and its strike group joining a massive U.S. naval buildup in the area as part of President Trump's anti-narco trafficking push. But Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro has called it an attempt to remove him from power. And he's announced plans to deploy military personnel and weapons in response.
We will continue to prepare ourselves to defend our homeland in all areas, whatever the threat, its intensity, its proportion.
The aircraft carrier's deployment comes after the White House announced 2 more strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats in the Eastern Pacific that killed 6 people. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth says the vessels were, quote, associated with illicit narcotics smuggling, were carrying narcotics, and were transiting along a known narco-trafficking transit route.
We need to make sure we're deterring what they're doing down there, which is to try to undermine our country.
President Trump has justified the deadly strikes, saying the U.S. is in armed conflict with drug cartels. The lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are demanding more information.
There is no strategy. All they're doing is blowing up a bunch of wooden boats and killing dozens of people with no end game here. And they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars in the process.
And Fox News has learned the UK has suspended intelligence sharing with the U.S. on these suspected drug smuggling boats over what it views as illegal strikes. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox 32, Chicago.
Top diplomats from the G7 are meeting in Canada amid growing tensions with President Trump over trade, defense spending, and foreign policy. Canada's foreign minister believes the relationship with the U.S. has to continue, even as Trump demands that all NATO allies spend 5% of their GDP on defense. The 2-day summit comes after Trump ended trade talks with Canada. Many areas of the East Coast are seeing the first snow of the season, including New York City. Cold air over the warm lakes creating ideal conditions. As forecasters said, there could be more snowflakes on the way today. Millions of people from Alabama to Florida are under a freeze warning. And Florida even issued a falling iguana advisory due to the reptiles freezing and falling out of trees. That would be something fun here in Chicago, just one time, right? 12:17 now, giving you a live look at the bean. No concern over falling reptiles here. Fox 32 meteorologist Mike Kaplan, though, has a quick check of the forecast.
All right, we start a nice little warming trend here with temperatures that should easily get into the 50s. I'm going to go a little bit above what our computer thinks. Our computer's going for low 50s. That number right there is mine. I'm going to go 54 degrees, and I think we can get it done. It's going to be almost perfectly sunny. Low to mid 50s pretty much area-wide. Far north, perhaps a little bit cooler where there's still a little snow on the ground, especially northeastern Lake County, Wadsworth Beach Park, Winthrop Harbor, but I think we're good for low 50s pretty much all across McHenry and Kane County. So if you're in Batavia, if you're in Crystal Lake, going to be nice and mild this afternoon. Everybody's going to see plenty of sunshine too. South Burbs. Now these are areas, look at that 49 at Moments. This I think is a good call by our computer model because you still have quite a bit of snow on the ground there, and that snow blocks some of the potential warming that we're going to have. But most of the area, Kendall, Grundy, going to LaSalle County, you might get a 56 out there. Now, Northwest Indiana, another spot that I think is going to be a little bit cooler. That's why we're showing mid to upper 40s here in places like Merrillville, Crown Point, Schneider, Gary, Whiting, Valparaiso. That snow on the ground, again, holding temperatures back just a little bit. But you're going to have uninterrupted sunshine today, and hopefully skies stay clear tonight. Did you see the northern lights last night? A lot of us did. There's a chance that they could appear again tonight. Skies should be conducive for that. Tomorrow, just a little bit of cloud cover sneaking in during the afternoon, but temperatures tomorrow should be a couple of degrees warmer than today. The weekend forecast with a 60+ just coming up.
Thank you, Mike. With the price of nearly everything going up, a local organization is doing what it can to make sure families have their holiday dinners on the table. Gabriella Primus has more from a busy turkey giveaway.
Hundreds of people line the block here at 79th and King Drive. This is usually a very busy McDonald's, but even more busy this morning because of the Food for Body and Spirit turkey giveaway. Happens every year. This is the second day. I'm with Brian Graham. You are an owner and operator of McDonald's, plus you're part of the BMOA, a board member as well. Let's talk about BMOA, and also, I mean, you guys ran out of turkeys pretty quickly this morning.
Yes, we did. Thank you, Gabby, for having me. We are an organization that believe in giving back. The Black McDonald's Operator Association, we were able to have what we call our Food for the Body and Spirit turkey giveaway today. We gave out over 600 turkeys in less than an hour. Quite often, it takes a couple hours. The need was here, and we were able to provide the people with the need.
You know what? It was, yeah, again, a little extra maybe of a need this year, as you said, but you've been doing this for 25 years. Does it ever get old seeing some of the big smiling faces, you know, the thank yous you get on their way out?
It is such a wonderful event. To be, like you said, 25 years. You'll see people dancing in the lines waiting for their turkey. You'll see them dancing in the lines as they leave with their turkeys. It's a great event. It's a great opportunity and time for us to give back. We're moving into the holiday seasons, and people feel a need for this, and this helps fill the need.
You know, we saw some people walking out with their boxes, giving us a little turkey dance. What was in those boxes? A turkey, but a little extra, too.
Yes, so we're providing turkeys. We also have baked goods from Lewis Bakery. We gave gift certificates so they can help buy some of the fixings along with their turkey. And then hats and gloves were also available for us to give out.
If people miss the last 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, the rest of the week there's some opportunity.
Yes, tomorrow we'll be at Ashland and 95th Street, and then we'll also be Friday and Saturday in the south suburbs. Harvey and Chicago Heights will be the two locations within. 3 more opportunities.
Okay, yep, all the 600 turkeys gone. Less than an hour here at 79th and King Drive. Usually very busy McDonald's, extra busy this morning. Hey, we'll have more information about the next couple of days on our website, fox32chicago.com.
Thank you, Gabby. What a great effort. Health officials are sounding the alarm about whooping cough and the flu. What is being done to stop the spread? And the meaning of the word Movember is something men should be aware of coming up. How it can improve their health. In today's Health Watch, a new whooping cough outbreak is emerging in Texas and parts of Utah right as peak flu season is hitting across the country. As vaccination rates keep going down, diseases that were almost eradicated are reemerging, like whooping cough. Public health officials say it's because kids are not getting their shots.
It's kind of considered one of those childhood diseases that has been vaccine preventable now for decades. Some people have suspicions, or maybe they read some information about vaccines that gives them concerns.
With vaccine rates declining, we worry that we may see another rough season again this season.
Experts now urging everyone to get the flu vaccine as soon as possible, despite a lack of outreach from the CDC, which canceled its vaccination campaign. A spokesperson says the CDC is launching a new campaign to, quote, raise awareness. This month, a growing movement is trying to break the stigma for men who avoid seeking help for their mental health. Movember is an annual event throughout the month dedicated to raising awareness about men's mental health and suicide prevention, as well as raising funds for research into prostate and testicular cancers. Experts say a lot of misconceptions keep men from seeking help.
Having mental health issues means that you're weak. So this is also really kind of tied to stigma related to mental health for men. Asking one another, like, how are you doing? Like thinking about, like, I've got this friend who may be going through a certain issue. Let me check on him and see how he's doing.
If you or someone close to you is struggling with mental health, the U.S. Suicide and Crisis Line is available 24 hours a day. Just dial 988. We'll be right back.
This program.
Welcome back. Here's a look at some of the top stories we're following for you today at noon. Today, the House is expected to vote on a temporary government funding bill. The measure includes funding for SNAP benefits, but not health care subsidies. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the shutdown has cost around $11 billion. Today, 6 people accused of interfering with immigration activity at the Broadview ICE processing center are due in court. According to the court documents, the Broadview Six banged aggressively on government vehicles and tried to block those vehicles from leaving and entering the Broadview facility. The hearing will take place at Dirksen Federal Courthouse at 1:30. And meteorologist Mike Kaplan has another look at the gorgeous forecast.
So the Northern Lights staged an incredible display last night. They were seen as far south as Florida and Arizona and pretty much all across Chicagoland. Really an incredible display, except in the greater Gurnee Metroplex. I was out there and it had too much cloud cover. Could still see it, but it was not as spectacular as what a lot of you sent pictures of. Please keep the pictures coming. Use the Fox 32 weather app. We'll try and share as many as possible over the coming days. We see lots of sunshine out there today. See this? The cloud cover that isn't moving? You know what that is? That's snow on the ground. And apart from the fact that it's out there, it's going to impact temperatures. So east of I-57 and moving into northwest Indiana, that snow, it prevents a full-bodied warm-up. So temperatures on that snowpack today only going to be in the upper 40s. The rest of Chicagoland, I think it's mid-50s. During the day tomorrow, we'll start with sunshine in the morning, but a little stripe of cloud cover sneaks in during the afternoon. No precipitation with that. In fact, that's kind of the leading edge of milder air that we'll get in here for Friday and Saturday. So get ready for even warmer temperatures here as we head into the weekend. Today, settle for 54 with sunshine. Tonight, winds die down, low of 35. Look at this 7-day forecast. 54, 56, 58, then a 66 on Saturday. Maybe somebody hits 70. Cooling off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with no precip, rain, or snow in sight. Back to you.
Good news. All right, as we get closer to winter, it's only going to get colder, and the average cost to heat a home is expected to rise by roughly 7.6% this winter. But experts are sharing some things that you can do to try and keep your heating bill down. They say the optimal temperature to have your thermostat set at is between 68 and 70 degrees. It's also critical to keep your filters properly maintained. Running your system with those dirty filters can reduce efficiency and make your system work harder than it should. You can also use window treatments to your advantage.
If you have blinds or curtains or drapes that you can draw across at night, that will help to keep the heat in your home. If you have south-facing windows, I would recommend opening up those drapes and letting that sun in, because that will help to heat the home.
You can go a step further by air sealing your home and adding insulation to attic space. Hey, coming up next, we're going to take a look at today's business headlines. We'll be right back.
Living
Well, we have some news happening right now. A rally for 6 people accused of interfering with immigration activity at the Broadview ICE processing facility. And this is a live picture from Federal Plaza. The group says the charges are politically motivated. Again, they are inside the courtroom. Their hearing is underway. Our Casey Cronus is there. She'll have an update on air at 4 p.m. and online following the noon show. In the meantime, let's take a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Right now, the Dow Jones is trading up by 414 points. And now it's time to look at your business headlines with CJ Papa.
Mortgage rates nudged up a little higher last week. The average for a 30-year fixed rate rose to 6.34%. Applications to refinance declined, though applications to purchase a home rose nearly 6%. Hotel guests across the world reportedly kicked out of their rooms mid-stay after Marriott's partner Sonder goes bankrupt. Marriott telling guests to ask credit card companies for a refund. Sonder's interim CEO says, "We are devastated to reach a point where liquidation is the only viable path forward." Deloitte says Americans are planning to take fewer trips this holiday season and will spend less on them. The average number of planned holiday trips has dipped to under 2. Last year, it was more than 2. Average planned travel budgets are down 18%. Even wealthier families are pulling back. Nearly 1 in 5 households earning more than $100,000 a year say they are worse off financially than a year ago. About 80% of that group plans to choose cheaper travel options. And Target stepping up its effort to improve customer service. It revealed recently employees are required to smile and make eye contact when they are within 10 feet of a customer to make guests feel welcome. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox 32, Chicago.
Our noon show will be wrapping up in about 20 minutes, but Chicago Live is just getting started. Anita Blanton standing by with a look at what's ahead. Hey, Anita.
Hey, Natalie. Thanks so much. Yes, it is a busy day, especially in politics, with members of the House rushing back to Washington, D.C. for this vote that could possibly end the government shutdown. There have been so many ripple effects as a result of it as time is dragged on, from SNAP benefit cuts and air travel being cut as well, to questions about where health care premiums will go from here. So we're going to keep a close eye on what's happening in Washington, while back here at home, we've lined up someone with Meals on Wheels as they are facing some new challenges, trying to make sure that no senior citizen in particular is left without access to nutritious food during this time. And yesterday we listened in to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who was talking from O'Hare here in Chicago. But we're going to be talking with a multimedia reporter down in Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, another airport that was on that list of 40 that were going to be very affected by all of this. So we're going to talk about air travel anxiety with her. Also, because we know so many of our viewers love to escape from all things talk when it comes to what's happening here on this planet, at 1:30 we're going to bring in our friend of the show, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, to get his take on a new nearly interstellar object that was just discovered. Get ready for your brains to expand. I'm ready. All of that and so much more between 1 and 4 p.m. right here on Chicago Live Online.
All right, thanks so much, Anita. And coming up, a Thanksgiving dish that is colorful, flavorful, and completely plant-based. Bloom Plant-Based Kitchen is here to show us how to bring elegance to your holiday table without the turkey.
Pause Chicago.
I want to show them that I'm not like anybody in this town. I'm everybody in the scene and everything in between.
We amplified black talent.
He changed the world. Not just American culture, he changed the world.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
One of the greatest ever.
It's all about my children. Pursue peace of mind. If you get that, then you got it all.
Well, he is one of the greatest comedians of all time, and he only sat down with one station in Chicago. Jake got the Chicago exclusive interview with comedy icon Eddie Murphy. I don't know anybody who doesn't love this guy.
I mean, yeah.
For the comedy,
and
you know?
What's kind of cool is he's been doing the job for so long that really entire generations, like, you know, Olive, I'm sure, probably watches Shrek and all that sort of the kids stuff. Daddy Daycare, Mulan. And then we obviously grew up on, like, Coming to America, Nutty Professor. Yeah, there's so much. I've been lucky enough to actually interview Eddie more than a dozen times over the last 20 years. He's never been as open as he was here, and that's because there's a new documentary that starts streaming on Netflix today that tells really the story of his whole life. It's called Being Eddie. The doc looks back over the life and legacy from his early days as a child trying to make his family laugh to becoming one of pop culture's most iconic comedians ever. And I had the chance to sit down with him, and we talked about a little bit of SNL and the greatest movies of his career, and also maybe the movies of his career that didn't work out.
I started so young. Eddie was right out of high school, but he was just fearless.
You know, one of the things I love most about this movie is that it teaches us that basically since you were a kid, all you wanted to do was make people laugh. So I was wondering if you could think about, let's say, the 15-year-old Eddie Murphy that we see some videos of in this film. Which of your movies do you think he would have loved the most?
The Nutty Professor.
Oh, this is so fabulous. Ain't nothing like getting together with family and having a good meal.
All the characters, and it's funny, and it's just a really solid film that any age can enjoy.
Are there any of your movies that you think 15-year-old me, maybe I love that now, but 15-year-old me wouldn't have loved that?
Probably the 15-year-old me wouldn't have liked the Holy Man, and they wouldn't have liked Pluto Nash.
And neither did 35.
You talk a little bit of in this movie about a movie that I love, that I remember my parents taking me to go see opening weekend in theaters, which is Vampire in Brooklyn.
Put a little heart into it.
Did I talk about it?
You just said.
I said, you know where you're going, Lil. I was trying to be self-deprecating and kind of funny, but I literally watched Vampire in Brooklyn 2-3 days.
Did you really?
Yeah, and it holds up. It holds. You know, lots of times you'll do a movie and when it comes out, it just doesn't live up to people's expectations, and then years later, you know, it's like, hey, you know what movie was like that? Harlem Nights. When I did Harlem Nights, when it first came out, the critics ripped me so bad, and it was, it sucks. So I didn't watch Harlem Nights for like 10 years, and it's the only movie I directed. Then one day I was on, I watched it, and was like, hey, this movie's not that bad, and now I love it.
In 50 years of SNL, you're the only person to ever host while you were a member of the cast. I'd love to know what you remember about that. It was Nick Nolte dropped out at the last minute?
Nick got sick at the last moment, and I had to fill in.
When Nick got here and got off the plane, he vomited on my shirt.
I remember it causing there was anarchy behind the scenes. Everybody, because Saturday Night Live is super, 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 super competitive. So everybody is on, you know, how much time I'm going to be on the show. And it wasn't just that I hosted the show. I said, it's the only time ever, because the show starts off with live from New York. It's Saturday night. It's the only time in the history of the show I said, live from New York, it's the Eddie Murphy Show. Live from New York, it's the Eddie Murphy Show. Hello, the cast was like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Oh, all this shit was going on.
Was that not scripted? You said that in the...
Yeah, I said that live, and it sent ripples through the hallway. It was like, he's out of control.
Being Eddie streaming now on Netflix. I think it's worth pointing out that, you know, that period of time that he was on SNL, for a bit, it was the Eddie Murphy show. Like there really wasn't. I mean, this was, you know, Lorne Michaels had left for a little bit, and you know, I think you can make one of the solid. You know, there's always that conversation of who's the biggest star to come out of SNL. I don't think anyone would disagree with you if you said Eddie Murphy.
Right,
like
right. No, totally.
And the whole reason that they had him do it was because 48 Hours had just come out with him and Nick Nolte.
I see.
And so the idea was, well, if you're not going to get one full star in 48 hours, you'll get another.
The other one.
So, yeah.
Is my microphone making a noise?
It's because of your beautiful hair.
Oh, thank you. Oh, right. It's not Jake's hair, by the way, that our director just informed us. Okay, Being Eddie streaming on Netflix right now. So you've got some catching up to do this weekend. We'll be right back.
It's the fifth.
Hey, everybody, Thanksgiving doesn't have to be all about the turkey and the trimmings this year. A Chicago chef is showing how plant-based can be just as festive and flavorful. And when you guys, I tell you, he is so busy. He is so popular these days. He's going to be joining us in just a moment to talk about Bloom, which is a plant-based kitchen. And one of his other very popular restaurants here in Chicago, he is James Beard Award-nominated chef Rodolfo Quadros. And again, he is from Bloom Plant-Based Kitchen. They have a colorful seasonal dish they're going to be introducing to us here. He is coming out as I speak. This is something that I think a lot of you are going to be familiar with. It's ratatouille, but not just ratatouille on a dish. It's ratatouille in tart form. Rodolfo, thank you so much for being here. We've got so many great dishes to talk about. We're going to kind of put together this dish as well, the ratatouille. But let's start with this concept.
Well, first of all, we're excited to be here.
Thank you. We're excited to have you.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, every Thanksgiving for the past 4 years that we've been in business, we do our Thanksgiving packages.
Okay.
So the idea is that we put together these great Thanksgiving feasts for either your, you know, you mentioned your father was
yeah, he's doing the vegan. Yep, the vegan lifestyle.
Our thought is this is something that you can buy for your father. That's
I love that.
over, so he doesn't have to worry about anything.
Okay.
We put together a 3-course feast with multiple sides, entree, soup. You know, the whole Thanksgiving experience. Plant-based.
Rodolfo, that is so... I was just saying the other day that it is really difficult if you want to do this diet, which has been proven time and time again to be so healthy. It's so hard to make the food yourself at home. So to be able to treat yourself on Thanksgiving and have it all made for you, great.
I think more than that, seeing that, like, vegetables... like simple vegetables can be truly amazing, should hopefully inspire you to take a little bit more of this yourself.
Okay, so what are we doing now?
So the dish one of the dishes that we're serving on our menu is our ratatouille.
Okay.
This is going to be pretty straightforward. So we did tomato sauce that's heavy in pepper, very similar to like a romesco, but like a heavy pepper tomato sauce. And then we have yellow eggplant, yellow squash, Chinese eggplant, tomatoes. And
what base are you putting it on?
So I just recommend buying either just a regular pie crust or a vegan pie crust if you're really trying to stay plant-based. And the idea is that we just kind of slice everything. Okay. And then we just start making, you know, a row of zucchini, a row of the yellow squash, a row of the tomato. And every layer we make sure we season with extra virgin olive oil, heavily, salt, pepper, some thyme. And yeah, we take all the work to make sure you get a beautiful little tart, you know?
It really is, and you can see how many layers are in the tart if you look at this piece that he's sliced up for us here. So are you putting then the tomato sauce in between each layer as well, like a lasagna?
Yeah, so you know, we are making a ratatouille, but this is Chicago, so we're giving it a little bit of a heavier look, so it's more like a kind of like a deep dish ratatouille.
I love that, yes.
And it has all the great flavors of ratatouille without.
And then what are you putting on the finished dish?
So we did a little balsamic and we finish it with extra virgin olive oil.
So pretty. Love that.
And yeah, that's about it. You know, the idea is that we get together, we make a fantastic menu for your loved ones or for your, for your family at home, and you know, you take the guesswork out of it and you treat us to something amazing.
Okay, I've got so many more questions for you, but first we'll wrap up kind of the Thanksgiving portion by saying, how soon do you need to place an order and how late is too late?
So we stopped taking orders 4 days before Thanksgiving, so around the 24th, I believe, or the 23rd.
I'm not going to check you on it because I don't have the calendar memorized either.
But, you know, the idea is that, you know, we make plenty of these, and, yeah, we welcome everybody, you know, to make sure they have a great Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about Bloom in and of itself. You guys have some other great dishes that you have displayed on your website. You brought a few in. Tell us what they are.
Yeah, so one of our signature dishes, the turnip casa. We do a fermented turnip for about 5 days, and we serve that with a little bit of crispy potato, umami caviar, and dill. We have our sweet potato gnocchi with a little bit of mushroom bolognese and celery root puree and Parmesan cheese, and that's our plant-based salmon with a little bit of creamy farro and a beurre blanc over the top.
So good. Do you guys have any weekly specials there?
100%. You know, we invite everybody to check us out for Pizza Wednesdays. We also do like 2 for Tuesdays where you can take out like your dad and have a 3-course meal on a Tuesday on a great deal. And you know, brunch is amazing. We welcome everybody.
Tell us about your other concept, Amaru.
Yeah, Amaru is a pan-Latin restaurant, so, you know, I'm blessed to be in Wicker Park. We have an amazing neighborhood. People support local business a whole bunch. Amaru is a pan-Latin restaurant where we try to showcase the best of Latin American food and culture to our neighborhood, to our guests. And we have loads of fun. You know, we have a happy hour that does great. It's amazing. Heavily rum cocktails, just very soul food, Latin American food.
And I see there's a little Amaru as well that is located at Time Out Market.
Yeah. We're still there for a little bit.
Okay.
That was a great experience for us, for sure.
Good. Well, the food looks great on all of the different websites. Trust me, I gave them a lot of looks. Okay. So make sure you go check out Bloom, the kitchen, and then also Amaru. Chef up Rodolfo's other concept. Thanks so much. And
Thank
happy
you so much.
Thanksgiving to
Happy
you. We really
Thanksgiving.
appreciate you. Mike's going to have a final check of the forecast coming up. Welcome back, and a live look there at Millennium Park. It is so beautiful, those fall colors out there and some sunshine. Meteorologist Mike Kaplan has another look at the forecast.
All right, this time of year, 50-ish is the normal high. We're going to be in that ballpark or a little bit above. I still think 54 is going to get it done for the official high today. Northwest Indiana, as we've been discussing here, with that snow on the ground, your temperatures will be held back a little bit there, but, you know, not too badly. Upper 40s, that's better than it has been here in recent days. Then we get to tomorrow, which I think will be a couple of degrees warmer than what we have today. I think we hit 56 for the official high, and you'll be just a little bit warmer. Very little snow should be left on the ground there in Northwest Indiana tomorrow, and we'll see a good deal of sunshine tomorrow with a few afternoon clouds. Let me show you here with our Weather Authority Futurecast, and you will see clear skies today, clear skies coming in here tonight. Maybe, fingers crossed, maybe we get the northern lights again. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine early in the day, but then in the afternoon, a little bit of cloud cover sneaking in. I don't think we'll have any precipitation with that, but we'll see our sunshine fade a little bit during the afternoon. Temperatures today headed for the mid-50s. That is pretty much above normal. I'll take that. 54 with a gusty west wind. Tonight down to 35 for the low. And the 7-day forecast highlighting Saturday with a high of 66. Get the Bermuda shorts back and ready to go. All right, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. That's all for Fox 32 News at noon. Make sure to tune in for Fox 32 News at 4, 5, and 9. And, of course, Chicago Live happening on Fox Local right now.
Next. I'm Anita Blanton here in Studio 32, and I'll be with you until 4 p.m. So much to get to today. So let me just kind of run you through our first hour that we have ahead. I'll give you an outline. Meals on Wheels Chicago is adding 2 more senior center pantry distribution